SMT Nation, welcome back to the channel. We're doing a special little feature here on some 4th of July fireworks testing for you. As I was in Westlake, Ohio, at the Clegg Park, we'll just call them the fireworks show. And I want to give you guys a little bit of some background information about the region, the situation, and then how I'll show you guys the screenshots or the pictures of how each of the carriers did on LTE and also 5G. Full thorough testing, 2 different times during the evening. So let's start first with the surrounding environment. All right, so this is Westlake, Ohio. This is on the edge of Westlake and Rocky River. All right, so here's Clegg Road. It runs north south. Here's north towards the lake, and then here is the south part here of the location on the map where I was sitting. All right, and what I'll do for you guys is I'll show you exactly where we were here at Clegg Park. So we were right next to where it says Peterson Pool. There's a couple of baseball fields here. And if I click on layers, I can show you guys exactly where we were sitting. All right, so we were sitting in this area on the edge of the field, second field here. And as you run up Clegg Road, I'll show you guys where the serving cell is. It's just over I-90, over the freeway here. More specifically, I'll show you guys exactly where the tower sites are. I think it's here on the images. And here they are. There's a concrete slab here. There's a tower site here, which I'm not sure when this photo was taken. Then there's a second tower site over here. So all the carriers are here. I think this one, it's just got old Sprint gear on it now. But here's where like Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile are. All right, so they're all on the same site. And I think Verizon's at the top, if my memory serves me correct. And I think it's T-Mobile below that and AT&T at the bottom, just to kind of give you guys some reference. In terms of distance, we're probably talking about a mile and some change, maybe a mile and a half or something like that. It could be a little bit more, but I can't see it being more than like 1 3/4 miles direct connection here. So, anyways, that's kind of the situation. You see, this is all residential here. All residential here. Here's where the business is. And by the way, this serving cell is serving this component here, Bay Village. So there's a sector that's going to be facing this way, right? There's going to be a sector that's facing down this way, and there's going to be a sector facing this way, serving that area. So that gives you guys an idea of what's going on here. So I want to tell you guys how they did. So I got pictures for you. Starting first with Verizon. This is their 5G DSS. This is about 30 megahertz of spectrum. You've got 10 megahertz of low band, and then you've got 20 megahertz of mid band. It's band 66 for the mid band. And in this instance, it's going to be 10 megahertz of band 5, N5 DSS. All right. 6.5 meg down, 6.5 meg up, or 6.3 meg up, 122 ping, 23 millisecond jitter. This was at 8:30 when everybody was just starting to kind of pile into the park, and it's not full. It was probably 3/4 capacity of what it ended up being, so it was almost full, but not quite. So this is serviceable. You can use your connection here. My concern is going to be very shortly, you'd probably have some buffering video because of the downlink speeds. Not much headroom there. Here is the test on LTE for Verizon. 6.7 on the downlink, 10.7 on the uplink, 43 ping, 14 jitters. So some of the numbers there better on LTE compared to the DSS. So better off using the iPhone 13 Pro here, putting it in LTE for a little bit better, more optimized experience. Here is your T-Mobile testing. This is 5G UC, and it took a while for me to actually get connected to this. It was tough for whatever reason. 4.84 megabits on the downlink, 0 megabits per second on the uplink. 49 ping, 82 millisecond jitter. This is a really bad test for the 5G UC. The signal is pretty weak, and because of that signal being so weak, I think it impacted the available throughput. You'll see that the uplink is non-existent, it's 0, and the downlink is very meager, to say the least. Here is the low-band 5G test, the extended range 5G for T-Mobile. This would be your N71 test, 1.49 on the downlink, 0.65 on the uplink, 73 ping, 7 millisecond jitter. So a pretty bad showing for T-Mobile. There's just not much bandwidth there. The amount of spectrum connecting here is probably similar to what Verizon had with like 30 megahertz or so. This is 15 megahertz of N71, and I would assume there might be some PCS in there. Possibly they have a 20 megahertz channel of band 2, unless this is just N71, which that's possible too. Maybe the Verizon worked out better because it's tall, it's higher up on the site, and that's why it still got some of the mid-band to reach. And here is the LTE test for T-Mobile. So a little bit better on the LTE than the 5G side. 4 megabits on the down, 1.3 megabit up, 64 ping, 9 millisecond jitter. So I guess if you were an LTE, you'd get something going on, but there's not much headroom there. The uplink, you'd probably struggle with a video call. The downlink, you'd probably get disrupted video playback. And here's the star of the show, AT&T, at the same site that both Verizon and T-Mobile were on. AT&T is at the bottom of the site. 5G Plus shined. All right, 40 ping, 5 millisecond jitter, the better of the metrics amongst all carriers. 111 megabits per second on the downlink, 2 on the uplink for this particular test. Let's see here. Here is the low band 5G for AT&T, 94 down, 5 up, 37 ping, 9 jitter. So that's going to be your N2 DSS, band 2 PCS. And then here is your 5G, that's your LTE, 25.7 down, 5.3 up, 31 ping, 5 jitter. And that's LTE. So AT&T was really, I would say, the most reliable and usable, kind of like in the pregame, right? 8:30 p.m. in the evening before like the fireworks show. All right, and here's to kind of show you guys where we were sitting. And there's some trees. The towers are up above the tree line, so that's not the issue. But you will see 5G Plus upper right-hand corner. There's your speed test. It did reach. Very nice for AT&T, making a difference there when the 5G UC really couldn't get there well. All right, so let me show you guys another thing here. This is actually later in the evening, and you will see the 5G UC. Sorry for the blurry picture. This was complete darkness. You guys see how good the camera is, the low light camera image quality is for the Pixel. All right, so 9:35 p.m., 5G UC. We are picking it up, but it's failing. I tried a couple of times. I could not get it to connect at all during the fireworks. All right, here's the LTE test. Again, it could not run, would not run, wouldn't connect. I couldn't do anything with it. Here is Verizon on the 5G DSS, the N5, 850 megahertz low band. 120 ping, 93 jitter. This is symptoms of a congested network. 1.13 down, 2.2 up. So while it is not good at all, we still got a test to complete. And then here is the LT version of the test that I ran back to back. 40 ping, 7 jitter, so those are better. 0.68 on the down, 2.96 on the up. So Verizon, while you may or may not get something to work on it, I was able to complete the speed test, but very congested. And then again, the star of the show, AT&T. Here's your 5G Plus picking up 12.7 megabits per second down, 0.89 megabits per second up. You could probably get a high definition, high quality, high res playback video to work. 64 ping, 26 jitter, so it does have congestive or congested tendencies here, but it would work. And actually, I tested it, and it did. And the folks that were with me also had AT&T, and they were on their phones using it when they had to. So there's your 5G Plus, the only available capacity amongst all the carriers. Here's 5GE. That was working as well. 43 ping, 11 jitter, 16 megabit down, 1.1 megabit up. And then here is, so my testing is done over a Los Blue Line, which is Enterprise Business Elite. This is the Consumer Elite, 19.5 down, 0.69 up on the 5G Plus, 84 ping, 86 jitter. All right, so my takeaway, Uh, a couple things about the T-Mobile testing. Number one, it did not reach well. All right, the 5G UC was sorely needed, and it didn't reach. Uh, it was congested. Would it have helped to have better backhaul? I'm sure it would have helped a little. And, instead of, 4 megabits on the down, maybe we would have had a little bit more. But really, the trouble there is due to power levels or something, it just didn't reach. And, with the other spectrum assets, the other, bands, LT and low band 5G, maybe the extra backhaul would have helped. But the trouble here is that their tower spacing is not good enough. And, you look at that combination of tower spacing plus the backhaul, maybe it would have worked out better. They could really use a small cell in situations like this. The towers, generally speaking, are the furthest spread apart amongst all the carriers here in Cleveland. And you kind of saw how it reared its ugly head in this situation, I guess. They could definitely use a small cell somewhere between that site and the next site just to help with situations like this. Verizon was serviceable. I actually want to show you guys something. I'm going to show you where Verizon has a small cell. All right, so here's Clegg and Hilliard. This is where we were sitting right here. Right here on this corner. And I'll see if maybe somehow, some way, maybe the cell site is visual. Okay, it's not, but it's right here. On this pole right here. Ooh, will it work? There it is. A recent enough picture. This is a CBRS small cell for Verizon on Clegg Road and Center Ridge. That cell, unfortunately, is too far away because it's not tall enough, and CBRS doesn't have the power to reach to the park, which is just north of here. All right. So we weren't able to pick it up. If we were, we have a totally different story. This is running a 60 or 70 megahertz connection of band 48. That would have probably held up the network a lot better. And you'll see that Verizon could have used it. Right? Here's Verizon on the LTE side. If this would have been able to reach maybe at a strong enough signal, like maybe if it was on the corner of that intersection of Hilliard and Clegg, we may have gotten usable speeds. But that's the problem. This is why an AT&T shined, right? The tower site was shared amongst all the carriers, and they're the only carrier that had the A, backhaul, and B, upgrade, right? The band that could reach the macro power band at full power, 5G plus N77 C-band working magic. Verizon at the top with an upgrade of N77, the C-band, probably would have saved the day too for them. So you could definitely see the two things that hurt T-Mobile in this situation, how AT&T was able to shine and keep chugging along, and then Verizon, they got to upgrade that site that AT&T has upgraded. Oh, and by the way, this site's going to get faster for AT&T because they put up the DoD antenna too and radio. So the other 40 this is a 40 megahertz channel of N77. They've got another 40 megahertz coming in the other frequency of N77. Plus next year they'll get more of the 3.7. So they'll be doing 120 megahertz of mid-band 5G on that site next year towards the end of the year. There you guys have it. That was my testing. Tell me about your 4th of July. Tell me about your network testing. Who shined? Who struggled? How did things play out? Comment down below. You are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. Like, share, subscribe for more content like this. Check out some more videos here at the end here in these cards. And turn on that bell notifications icon so you never miss an upload. Links in the description for my Twitter handle. Also my Patreon page if you want to support us and get early access to content and exclusive videos not found anywhere else. And all business inquiries can go to the Gmail address in the description box. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Peace.